Hey everyone, it's awesome to have you on board today. And I'm here with Scott, and we're going to share a little bit about Scott's journey. And we're going to get straight into it. And I'm going to get Scott, if you can, to introduce himself and tell us a little bit about what he's up to. We're going to share a little bit about his journey, how awesome, we'll share a little bit about how awesomely fit he is. You can look up his profile, you'll see that for yourself. But we're going to be talking about men, emotions, his own personal journey and transformation. So I'm really excited to have you on board, Scott. So tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do to get started would be incredible. I know there's a lot to say because you're pretty epic at what you do. So
I appreciate it. You're making me blush. Well, I guess Cole's number one, I'm a dad. I got two amazing adult children. My daughter's 18 years old. My son's 20. Man, they light up my life. And I think a lot of what I do is just trying to be a great role model for them.
Yeah.
My career, I'm a physique coach. I guess a lot of people can relate that to I'm basically a personal trainer online, guiding men over 40 to transform their bodies, transform their lives. And really, it's so much more than just the physical transformations we're going to get into here. And I think that's what the thing that makes my job so much more rewarding. Like you see the before and after pictures, and that's awesome. But it's seeing like what goes on emotionally, mentally, and just the conversations that we have with each other is it's outstanding stuff. Like I just look at my evolution as a physique coach and as a personal trainer, how it used to just be, all right, I got to get these people to lose fat and everything, to now I want them enjoying the process, living their life to the fullest, being present in the moment, and just soaking this whole journey in. Because it's more than just this one end goal. It's like what's going to happen afterwards. So I guess that's a little Cole's note of where I'm at right now. Yeah. Oh, and aside from my kids, I got my furry homie Chief down there. He's grinding away on a deer antler. So if you hear any crunching and grinding stuff, he's self-soothing down there right now.
And that's okay because we love dogs on this podcast. So this is awesome. And I agree with you. Years ago, I used to be a fat loss transformation coach. So I understand how that holistic approach makes such an incredible difference, right? That's how you bring real transformation and more of a long-lasting transformation, because it's okay to say, hey, I want abs, want an awesome booty, blah, blah, blah. You get excited about really what that visual goal is, but being able to actually enjoy the transformation itself and gain the lessons and the inspiration and the wisdom when you're going through that process and having insights into yourself, because you learn so much about yourself during that process, right? Because you kind of have to face yourself a little bit more. There are so many vulnerable times as well. So you kind of, it's so good that you are working in alignment with that, because that really brings a much more impactful transformation right to them, and then the results are going to last a lot longer.
100%. That's yeah. And you do realize that the end result is just such a small part of the overall picture, and you want to set yourself up for long-term success with maintaining those results. And
yes.
And when you're having fun with the process, it's like everything you did to get there, you're still going to keep doing that after you get there. And you're doing it not because you have to lose so much fat. It's like, man, I'm really enjoying what I'm doing. Like, this is a part of my daily habits. It's what makes me feel my best. So you keep at it. Yeah, there's just so much more. And dealing with men over 40, it's just, there's so many different issues that arise. A lot of the guys, we'll talk about, all right, how their diet is everything, and the next thing you know, we're talking about libido and performance anxiety and Kegels, and then we're talking about bowel movements and irregularity, all this. It's just crazy, all the different stuff. But there's so many, for years and years and years, we've kind of kept this stuff in and kind of felt like, man, I'm the only one who's dealing with this kind of stuff. And then you start opening up more, and you're like, holy smokes,
Yes.
we're all going through the same kind of stuff. And it just really, I think that's one of the benefits of being open, and then just putting out the vibe that you're easy to talk with, kind of thing. And it's okay. You can let it out, feel comfortable to let this stuff out, because yeah, I know you're not the only one dealing with this here.
Yes. And sometimes it's the things that are like the very normal things that we cling on to, right? And think, I can't tell anyone about them, but they're like the everyday things that are very important to us, that are actually like keeping us awake at night.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. That's just amazing. We tend to replay those little things, those little negative things that we just pick ourselves apart. And yeah, that's something else. Try to get a lot of my clients and myself to just, when it's time for bed, because sleep is a huge thing. That's another big thing. Like, I'm really like the training, the diet, that's a part of the focus, but really get my guys to focus on stress management, and sleep is priority number one. So a lot of them are going to bed and they just got all these thoughts going on in their mind. They can't turn their brains off. I'm like, you're lying in bed, you gotta let it go. Let go. You can take care of that tomorrow. Now is the time for sleep. Like, sleep is the most important thing, and it's going to help you deal with that stuff tomorrow. And oftentimes getting them into a good little nighttime routine where they can kind of get rid of that stuff, all those thoughts, before they get into the bed, and just focus on what's most important at that time. And getting a great night's sleep is for everything.
I know, even for myself, if I've got a lot of stuff on my mind, I'll do a mind dump, like big time, on paper, just get rid of that. And then I have my bedtime routine as well. And I have a bedtime routine, and then I have a backup of a bedroom routine as well, in case the first one doesn't work, in case I got a bit too much going on in my head. So
yeah, it happens. That's life, especially as an entrepreneur. And there's just always something I can be thinking about 24/7, ideas and stuff that I do different. And it can be nonstop. And I realize that about myself. Like, I could be up all night thinking about things, but it's not going to serve me well. The thing that's going to serve me best in this moment is getting a great night's sleep. And it's always pays off big time.
Yes. And do you find, we're just going to dive into this, because this sort of just like picked up as I was listening to you, and I was thinking, we'll just go into this. So when it comes to like libido and so forth, how do you find that the guys, when it comes to lack of sleep, and also just how they're feeling about themselves when they're not like being more accepting of themselves, I would say, how do you find that affects that and their fat loss transformation at the same time? Because it's all like one big package, right?
Oh, 100%. And it's amazing when you do take care of those important things, like getting an adequate amount of sleep, quality sleep each and every night. That's going to have an impact on our testosterone levels. It's going to have an impact on our energy. It's going to have an impact on our mood. And there's Chief.
Chief agrees,
buddy.
Go,
Chief. He's all about libido as well right now. He's a 10-year-old aging guy himself. But yeah, like you said, even like if you have stuff going on in the bedroom that affects your confidence, that's going to carry over into your weight training and all that kind of stuff as well. So confidence is a huge thing as well. So they all definitely tie in together. I don't know if that's where you wanted me to go with that, but yeah, it all plays a key role. And when you take care of sleep, it's the same thing with nutrition. Like, a lot of people think of the nutrition as, all right, I'm gotta eat my veggies, it's supposed to be good for me to lose weight and all that stuff. But again, eating like broccoli, cauliflower, stuff like that for us men can help reduce estrogen levels. You eat stuff like eggs and stuff. It's great protein to build muscle, all that stuff. At the same time, great for our testosterone levels. So everything, like what you're doing to improve your libido should be improving your physique at the same
Yes.
time as well. It kind of all go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Even a lot of the supplementation as well. It's some of the stuff that I look into, the guys are interested in, like vitamin D can be helpful for us men over 40. Again, that's something that you should be taking to improve your overall health, and it can help your testosterone level too. Ashwagandha, that's something that I've taken with some success in the past. Some people question it. I'm not sure why exactly. I don't think there's a lot of negative research on that, but it's great for reducing stress and anxiety. And again, stress, Chief is really chiming in here. He's loving the topic of libido right now. Stress and anxiety can make it more challenging for you to lose weight.
Yeah.
Stress and anxiety can have a negative impact on your libido.
Yeah.
So yeah, taking a supplementation like ashwagandha can help.
I take that. I love it. I think it's awesome. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's, lots of, they all tie in together. Yeah. And same thing, transforming your body, like dropping some body fat can help improve your testosterone levels and your libido. It's getting too low, like really, really low levels of leanness, like competition low, that's taking it too far, and you can actually see your libido decrease at that time. But we're talking about getting yourself in a good, healthy range.
Yes, that's right. And when it comes to your own transformation, because you're in incredible shape, so you're like jacked and shredded as like big time. So, when it comes to your transformation, how has that kind of taken place for you? What's your story?
My story. I've always been fascinated with it. Like, I grew up an athletic, lean, fit kid, playing all kinds of sports, hockey, baseball, track. I got into weight training when I was 13 years old, mainly to help me with sport. Because I'm a smaller guy, like 5'7". At that time in high school, like barely 100 pounds, and I needed to build some muscle and strength to kind of, keep up with some of the bigger guys out there.
Yeah.
So that kind of got it started. And like, in my day, it was, you're looking at Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, Jean-Claude Van Damme, and all these action stars I just looked up to. And so I worked out at my parents' basement, had their posters on the wall, had posters of women in bikinis, all the motivation I could get to want to transform my body. And as my body was improving, getting compliments from the women just kind of fed into that. At the age of 14, working out my parents' basement, told my best friend at the time, my workout partner, like, I'm going to own my own health club when I grow up. So I had that passion in me. I knew it was kind of the field that I wanted to go into. Then I learned about the program, kinesiology, human kinetics, to get a degree, learning about the body, the biomechanics, the anatomy, physiology, all that stuff. And right out of university, got into personal training, physique coaching, working for someone else for a year. And then I did open up my own personal training studio, 3 years, had that. And it was a lot on me. It was way more demanding on me. I thought owning your own business was going to be freedom. Set my own hours, all that stuff. No, it was like 16-hour days, not enough time for me to work out. And actually, during that time, when I owned the personal training studio, I gained 50 pounds of fat. Like, I was stressed. I couldn't work out. And like I said, stress has a kind of a really negative impact on your body. So after gaining that 50 pounds of fat, it took me a good 10 years to get to that point where I was finally ready to release it. Like, I tried for 10 years. I'd be good for a few days, say, screw it. I'd just cave in, eat the junk. Then I'd be good for a few weeks, cave in, and just, it was yo-yo up and down for 10 years. And then, like, I know what to do. Here I am helping everyone else transform their bodies, the plumber with the broken pipes or whatever. I just wasn't ready. My life, I had 2 young kids, the business and all that stuff. Every excuse in the book, they're excuses. But really, at the end of it, if I could bottle that feeling when I woke up that one morning, I was 35 years old, I decided, I'm ready. Like, I'm ready to transform my body. It wasn't a rock bottom moment. I did glimpse in the mirror. Like, I caught a side view getting out of the shower, putting on my jeans. As I put on my jeans, I caught the side profile in the mirror. And I was like, wow, like it really hit me. All this time, I knew I had to lose weight.
Yeah.
With the shirt on, you could cover it up. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, most people didn't really realize how big I was with my shirt on. During that time, I mean, when I was at a beach here, I was growing up lean, athletic, loved showing off my body. And when my kids were young, going to the beach with them, I didn't take my shirt off. I'd go in the water with them with a shirt on. Like that was just crazy. It's still crazy for me to think that, how embarrassed I was. But yeah, it just cut that side profile, and I'm like, holy smokes, yeah, I need to do something here. But I actually felt ready. Like and just like from that point, it was no looking back. What I ended up doing is like, I felt ready. I put it out to the world of Facebook. I'm like, listen, guys, my 36th birthday, I'm going to give myself 6-pack abs again. And every week I was checking in. I progress photos, sharing my progress on the scale weight and all that stuff. And that, I think that form of public accountability really was a huge driving force for me. Like I felt ready, but at the same time, like that kept the motivation going for me. And I also booked a photo shoot. First time I ever did a photo shoot for that 36th birthday, just kind of showcased the results that I experienced, capture my body as a work of art. Like I really view this training as an art form, the body as a work of art. And then like seeing the photos afterwards, like, first of all, the photo shoot was in itself a very rewarding experience. Like the confidence and pride that I felt from that experience was way better than just seeing myself in the mirror and seeing other pictures. Like, wow, like that's me. Holy
because
crap.
you really do get to see yourself then, right? It's not, it's like you then become like an observer of yourself rather than just like looking at yourself in the mirror, right?
Very much so, very much so. And then you realize you're like, I could be on a magazine cover. Actually, I ended up being in a magazine. Iron Man magazine kind of captured that transformation story there. And like, holy smokes, like I'm just a little guy, like looking at myself in the mirror, I'm like, I'm just an average guy. But you see that picture of yourself, I'm like, man, like how many of these photos am I seeing of these guys who look just like me outside of this? But you're just admiring all these other people, like, damn, I should be admiring myself the whole time here.
Yeah, that's so awesome. And did you find that then from that, then people were saying, can you help me? Like, we're so inspired. And, or, you know, because the thing is, when you see someone else actually going through their journey, it inspires other people to like step up for themselves, right?
Oh, 100%, 100%. And I always encourage it. Like even to this point, this stage where I'm at now, I've maintained my level of leanness, but like within 5-10 pounds max. I usually try to keep it within 5, and then every January I typically do a little mini cut, a little fat loss phase that lasts for 4 weeks. And whenever I do a little mini cut, I'm like, who wants to join me on this? Because it's fun sharing the experience together with other people. But yeah, it really is something, like I've always found it fascinating as a personal trainer in the gym. I hear so many other people, they'll just go up to people who are like, that person lost weight, they're looking great, how did you do it? They're always going up to everyone else, right? I'm like, how about you go to the person who's like educated and like knows, like you don't know, like they may, I did a juice cleanse and all this other stuff, like what kind of information you're gonna get from people. But yeah, it's, people tend to be inspired by, it doesn't matter what your background is, you went through a journey, you look the way I want to look, what did you do to get there? I want to do the same thing.
And I think too, it's when you actually do the work properly, you know, with the exercise and nutrition, when you take like a holistic approach about, you know, taking care of your quality of life, all of that, and the personal development within that takes place as well. It is so much more rewarding than just like, you know, losing weight some way by a quick fad, right? Because there's not, you just don't have that same impact. There's not that inner transformation that really takes place as much. And not only that, you don't get the self-education about how your body actually reacts to certain foods and to your workouts, because you're not sort of like tracking along. It's just, you know what I mean? Like it's a whole different process than just like taking some pills for a, you know, because you want to look great for a reunion or a wedding or something like that.
100%. Yeah, it truly is a self-growth process. And it's something I talk to my clients about all the time, is just having a heightened sense of awareness. And
Yes.
I am all for like experimenting with different approaches. If someone comes to me like, you know, this intermittent fasting thing sounds like it might be a good fit for me, I'm like, let's try it out. Let's see how it goes, how you respond. You have to have a heightened sense of awareness, and you take what you like about it and forget about the stuff that you don't like about it. And it ends up being like your own little unique mishmash of a bunch of different approaches that you've tried over the years. Like how that when I did the photo shoot at 36 years old, I'm now 46. That's 10 years ago. My approach is slightly different now than it was back then. It's even different than it was a year ago, and even a little bit different than it was a year before that, because I'm always learning and growing and just finding ways that just an approach that suits me best, where I can feel good throughout the entire process. Because there's been times 10 years ago or so that like by the end I was just like drained, exhausted. I didn't have energy to do anything else other than what I was dedicating towards the workouts and my diet. I'm like, I come home, I just want to sit on the couch and do nothing. Now I'm like on my feet all the time. I can't wait, because I've learned the smarter approach that allows me to sustain my energy through. Like I'm fueling my body more, and doing things that aren't beating me down. They're allowing me to thrive, kind of empower me throughout the day.
Yeah. And in regards to that, you know, what are some of those things that you are doing for that, right? Because, you know, as you know, you can be working out and eating right and doing all those things, but if you're not feeling fulfilled in what you're doing in life, like it's really nice to have things that you're doing outside of those things that make you feel good within yourself. And so what are some of those things that you do for yourself, and that and maybe some of your clients do as well?
Yeah, so I mean, priority number one, it definitely, as I've mentioned, is sleep. Like that is something I never valued as much before. It'd be like I've got to get up at 4:30 in the morning so I can get on the stair climber, burn my calories on that. Who cares if I went to bed at 11 at night or whatever? I still have to get up at the time. And you kind of feel guilty and beat yourself up if you like hit snooze on the alarm clock. I've got to get it done. I got to put in this work, and that kind of stuff ran me into the ground. That was the stuff where like, all right, yeah, I got up at 4:30 in the morning to burn 300 calories on the stair climber. But then like later on in the day, all I want to do is lie on the couch, and I'm not burning as much calories as I would be if I was on my feet, moving around, doing fun stuff with my kids. So sleep is number one priority. And it's also doing stuff that I enjoy. Stair climber, it's okay. It's a good exercise. It's a good workout. But for me personally, I would much rather be paddleboarding. I'd much rather be walking my dog. I'd much rather be riding a bike outdoor. I like being outdoors, hiking through nature. So always encouraging people, like, just because you hear something is like the best fat burning exercise out there, it doesn't mean you have to do it. What's most important to you is doing the stuff that you enjoy, because that's how you're going to stick with it for the long term. And it's all about you gaining the most zest for life, like living your life to the fullest. If you don't enjoy being on a stair climber and you're getting up early to go on that stupid thing, you're not having fun in the process, and you're doing it because you think you have to do it to burn calories and burn fat. So it's just, again, fueling my body as well. Like I eat way more now to fuel my lifestyle and still lose fat. Like before, it was a lot more deprivation, try to be as aggressive as I possibly can. Now I'm like before it was like, how little can I eat? How much can I get away with, so I can kind of speed up this process, and really battling the hunger and all that sacrifice. And now I'm like the opposite. I'm like, well, how much can I eat and still maintain my progress? And what do I need to do in order to eat that much? And for me, it's subtle little things. like instead of being on a stair climber to burn 300 calories, I work at a stand-up desk. Like I'm at my stand-up desk right now talking with you.
Yeah.
And I love it. I can feel better. And it just, you can burn 300 calories a day just from standing instead of sitting.
Yeah.
And to me, it's like, I'm not even thinking of this as exercise. I'm not thinking of this as a calorie burning activity. I actually feel better standing than I did when I was sitting. And just makes me feel stiff and tight and all that stuff. And so I love this. I'm feeling more animated standing, all that stuff too. So it's little things. It's just, how can I thrive? What's going to build me up rather than beat me down? Just being intelligent with the training and all that stuff.
Yeah. And I think too, like I'm noticing with the things that you're saying that you're doing, you know, being outdoors is very grounding, right? And connecting with nature is a really big deal when it comes to helping you feel good about yourself. And you don't even really realize it when you're doing it at the time, right? And then you might have been for a hike, you might be, say, super stressed out about, and then you come back and you just like, you start appreciating things around you while you're hiking, and you know what I mean? You come back and you don't realize how much you've let go in that time. And because you come across as a very grounded person, and I think that's really cool. And I think people, especially, you know, we've had a lot of lockdowns and other things going on where people haven't been able to appreciate nature as much, right? So I think it's really awesome that we're able to get out in nature and find activities that not only that are great for our mental health as well as our physical health as well, you know.
100%. And I think that's what a lot of people miss, even when they are outside. And even for myself in the past, I've always enjoyed being outdoors. I've always enjoyed walking. It certainly helps having a dog. He wants to get out walking twice a day with me. But in the past, years ago, like 10 years ago, when I was walking, I would listen to podcasts and everything. And I always thought to myself, oh, it's a great way, killing two birds with one stone, getting out, being active, and burning calories from walking. So the walking was, all right, I'm burning calories, I'm being active, and then I'm educating myself with a podcast, which again, it's great. It's a good thing. But for me now, like the past several years, it's like, forget that. As soon as I took the headphones out, stopped listening to podcasts, I'm like, whoa, like, what have I been missing? Because like when you're wearing headphones, you're listening to everything else. You don't see what's in front of you, and you really miss out on the full experience. And to me, that's when it becomes more than just walking to burn calories. Like you said, it grounds you in the moment, which can be a great stress relief. And again, if you're managing, it's a great way to manage your stress, keep your cortisol levels down, make it a lot better for you, like really put your body in an optimal state to burn fat and build muscle. So that is the best way of killing two birds with one stone, is to be in that moment. And I do find, like for myself personally, it's still like when you're out for a walk, some people use it as their time to think and everything. And it's amazing how you can get in your own head again while you're out walking. And again, you're missing everything that's right in front of you. So I'm always reminding myself, if I get trapped in thoughts and everything, like, just look at the leaves changing right now and listen to the bird. Like, there's so many different things. I'm lucky to see beavers out here when I'm out for my walks, and all different kinds of birds and stuff. So it's amazing what you miss in front of you. So now I just really use, I mean, this is my time. Just forget about everything else and just focus on what's right in front of me. Like really appreciating everything that's right in front of me right now.
Yeah, it's true. And it's interesting you say that, because I know when, and this is, you know, for anyone, not just entrepreneurs, but it's very easy to, like, especially if you're, just say you're frustrated or angry, to like put on angry music, that vibe of music, or a podcast that's very super aggressive, you know what I mean? Because you've in that place where you're thinking, I just have to push through this, versus trying to calm down. So you will listen to stuff, and by the time you get to the other side of the walk or whatever activity you're doing, you're feeling exhausted, right? And even more manic than you were before.
No doubt. No doubt about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We are overstimulated as a society for sure. And we really need those moments to calm ourselves, calm our mind. And again, have that attitude of gratitude for what's right in front of us, all the simple little things. We're chasing so much and trying to accomplish so much. And like, man, like there's a lot of greatness right here in front of us that we're not
Kids
appreciating. We're
included.
so, yeah, so focused on, what's next, and rather than what's right in front of us right now.
Yeah, that's so true. And yeah, Chief agrees with all of what you're saying. It's like a bit of a hell yes going on there.
I love it is, but
Yeah,
you're
there you
timing it
go.
all the right times, but
And talking about Chief, like how has you know, because it's really nice having a dog, right? How has having a dog like help you ground yourself as well, right? Because it really is lovely having an animal, you know, a pet. And dogs are great because you take them so many places with you, but they're also I think when we have animals in our life, we have a really amazing connection with them, right? And it is very nice when you're spending, you could be stressed out or, you know, just needing that time to be able to, like when you are cuddling them or just walking with them, they really take a lot of the load off you, even when you don't necessarily have someone else there to talk to, right?
100%. Yeah. Especially I live on my own right now. I got the adult children and yeah, he's my sidekick. He's with me at all times, which is why he's being vocal right now. He's so used to all the attention. I wonder why you're giving attention to everyone else right now when you should be petting me and loving me. Yeah, like even like there's so many things about him, like when we are out for our walks.
Yeah.
I could be thinking about things. I look down and I see him, he's got like this happy look on his face. I'm just like, it just instantly puts me in a great mood. Like he's having so much fun. I'm like, oh my God, it's hard for me not to have fun at the same time. And then I'll just watch him and I'll watch him sniffing him. I see him so present in that moment, wondering what he's thinking. I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to be missing out on anything as well. And then there's the evening cuddles. Like I said, like it's amazing how just there's something so therapeutic about just petting him and rubbing him and just caring for another person is just that affection and everything is, it's awesome. Just looking into their eyes. It just, he really does. He seems to read me a lot as well when I do need to, like if I've been like really focused on my work for a little bit too much and stuff, and he'll just kind of do something. I'm like, all right, little pet him. Or like what I really love, especially during the warmer months, the breaks, go outside, play a little fetch for a few minutes. So he gets me in the fresh air for a bit. It gets me to take little breaks here and there. So really gets me to realize, you know, it's the little things in life that are so freaking priceless. So it's great to work your butt off, but also understand that it's important to take those little breaks and soak up some quality playtime as well.
Yeah, and I think it teaches us a lot about self-acceptance and unconditional love with them as well.
Oh my
goodness.
Yeah. Oh, there's no doubt about that. The unconditional love is just it's outstanding. Yeah. And like, he's not judging me. He's not being critical of me. He's just like, let's just have some fun. Let's cuddle. Let's play. He's my bud.
That's so awesome. Yeah, because I love seeing in your stories, like he's often in your stories, and I like that's when I see your stories and I see Chief in them, I'm always like looking through them going, giving them hearts. Yay.
Yep, I love showing him off. He's a big part of my journey. He's a big part of my personal growth and well-being. And it is. It's a lot of times when I'm out with him and out in nature, that is what really gets me in tune with myself. And then I get back from a walk and it just sparks messages, it just, things come out of me a lot easier and effortless. And it's just me being me being true to myself, me just wanting to pour my heart out, my emotions, not hold anything back, because it's what I value in life. This is who I am, and I just like sharing it, keeping it real.
And that's so awesome, because so many people don't necessarily get to feel that in their life, do they? You know, they hold that in, and they don't get to have that much creativity and inspiration and that purposeful feeling in each day.
Exactly. And I think some people are chasing likes and all that stuff on social media too. They're posting what they think other people want to hear.
Yeah.
It's so much more freeing when you just share yourself with the world. People can like it or not. I take it or leave it. You get the likes. It's great. What I would rather have than just someone clicking likes or hearts or whatever is the conversation. It's like they read it. Like, I can tell the people who are like just the quick heart and everything, and the people who are like really take the words to heart, and then they share their experiences with me and their thoughts, because that's what it's all about. It's all about sparking conversation and kind of building each other up, bringing out the best in each other, and in a non-judgmental way.
That's right. And I think, even because I know for myself, I have heaps of, you know, like guys, because I'm a resilience coach for men, I will cover some topics that I suppose that other people may not want to talk about necessarily, you know what I mean? Or it's sort of this kind of stuff that gets pushed under the carpet a fair bit. Or that people just are super uncomfortable about discussing. And so, like, it'll be interesting, because I might only get like a few likes, but I'll get some private messages saying, "Oh, Mandy, thank you so much," you know, like, and they'll tell me that they see my posts a lot and they read them and how much it helps them, but they don't comment on them, because they don't want other people thinking that they're going through something at the moment. You never really know when it comes to your posts and what you're sharing, especially when you're sharing stuff from in here, right? Like how much that is truly impacting people. Like, people see your stuff and just will never like it, but they're reading it all the time and taking it in. So
there's definitely a lot of that going on, which is great for the people who are lurking behind the scenes and soaking it in, and it gives them a feeling of acceptance, but they fit in. They're not alone, kind of thing. But I strongly encourage the people. I mean, you don't want to just be putting out your highlight reel stuff. I mean, it's great to put out that positive. You want to share the good and everything, but life isn't always sunshine and rainbows. And I really encourage, especially in my groups, I got private groups. It's a little bit better setting because it's not public where everyone can see, but like, at least here in our private group, dump it all out there. Like, don't hold back, because I guarantee I'm having lots of private messages of so many other guys who are thinking the exact same thing that you're thinking right now. So share it, and you're going to get a lot of feedback coming back from others. Oh my God, I thought I was the only one. And here I am. I'm so glad you brought it. Then you get the discussions going. And then it's like, okay, now that we're all experiencing this, what can we do to come to a solution to improve upon our challenges that we're all facing right now? But there's so many different levels. It's like, oh great, I'm not alone. And then you share in those conversations, and then you have to work towards, all right, let's just not have a little pity party for ourselves. Let's build each other up and try to get over these hurdles together.
Yes. And how do you find, like, in the private groups, and even with yourself, with it, maybe even your own male friends, like, how do you find that communication is like, is it fairly freely, or do you find that some guys might struggle with it a little bit, you know, with being a bit vulnerable with what they want to share? Or
there's definitely still some challenges with some people being allowing themselves to be vulnerable. They're making progress. They'll share some stuff, and then I'll get a private message about something that this is just too much for me to share in the group, even though I'm like, I would encourage it, but you got to be understand, like, baby steps. We'll get you there. And then there's some of us who just pour it all out there, and don't hold back. And I think that's great, because then you just got to keep leading by example, to keep sharing, and then it just starts making it feel more acceptable, more the norm. And I think we are getting a lot better for us men over 40, expressing our feelings and emotions, and the good and the bad. Like, we don't have to be like crazy vulnerable all the time. Like, we're just share the stuff that we're going through, the good and the bad. And I definitely see it changing compared to my father's generation, like grandfather's generation, where we just didn't, we just kept it all bottled in. And I used to keep things bottled in, like even like 10 years ago, and in my marriage and everything, I wasn't one that was very great at communicating. And that's a lesson that I learned from that whole process. I need to get better at communicating. And once I started communicating, it's like, holy smokes, like it's like a weight lifted off of you, and you just want to share more and more. And sometimes I wonder if I share too much. Maybe I do, but I'm like, you know what, again, this is me, take it or leave it.
It takes courage and strength, doesn't it, to be vulnerable and put it out there when you feel like it's something that you can't do or shouldn't do or whatever, because of whatever is perceived about that, you know. And it's just from someone else's perception that we've taken that on, that it feels like that. And so when you were going through that process with yourself and your marriage and so forth, you know, what was it that you really just woke up and thought, wow, like a communication or vulnerability, you know, what it is that you really needed to like work on for yourself, and kind of how that took place?
Yeah, I think it all kind of came in baby steps. Like, I always knew I wasn't the greatest communicator in the marriage. My ex-wife would remind me of that all the time, which rightfully so. She was a great communicator, and I just was one to bottle up. That's something I learned from my parents. My mom is very much like that, and so that was a learned behavior. And then, like, so afterwards, it was after the marriage had ended and starting to explore other relationships and it just takes one time to open up, like realizing that was one of my downfalls. It certainly wasn't the reason for the marriage ending or anything, but it was a contributor to the whole thing. So I'm like, this is something, again, it became a focus of self-growth. Like, how can I improve as an individual, not just for future relationships, but I just want to be a better man, a better person. And so start communicating a little bit more. And now, like, really dating more and meeting other women. Like, I just want them to know me, everything about me. And I guess some of it comes with age and experience as well. And just not giving a fuck what other people think of me as well. Like, this is who I am. I'm going to dump it out. This is how I feel right now. You don't like how I feel? Let me know you don't like how I feel. We can work through this kind of thing. And I'm not as stubborn anymore. I think I'm an even better listener than I ever was before. It's really just been an evolution. I don't think there's ever, like, it started, of course, with that awareness that I needed to improve upon my communication, but it just was baby steps along the way. And then just that feeling of opening up. And as the first time you open up, you're like, well, that felt really good to do that. The first time I ever did that was with, like, I did see a therapist at one point a little while ago. And that experience, it was complete stranger, just dumping it all out. Like, fuck, that felt really, really good to just dump it all out there. So the more you do it, the better you feel, I think, overall. And then the better you feel, the more you want to do that kind of stuff. And
and that does, you know, not only that, you are more accepting yourself, right, when you do that, because you understand yourself more. And then you do tend to not worry about what other people are thinking as much, because you are more self-accepting, right? Because you are more sure of who you are, you're cool with who you are, you love who you are more. And so that just naturally makes you more open to that.
100%. You nailed it for sure. That's exactly it. And that's, this, I think it's one thing this whole lockdown taught me and everything too. Just because I had just gotten out of a relationship the day before the lockdown. And I was like, 4 months, that first 4 months of the lockdown was exactly what I needed to just get in tune with myself. Focus on my own personal growth. And really get in tune with what brings the greatest joy to my life, and realizing how much I freaking love myself, who I am. The little things. I love that I'm so into nature. I love my fascination with the body and my potential. I love learning. I love my furry homie chief. Like, just really realizing the things that bring me great joy, and also realizing that I still have a lot of personal growth myself. So as I'm searching for my life partner here, it's not a rush. I know it's all going to happen at the right time. In the process, I'm just going to continue working, building upon myself. As happy as I am with myself and the growth I've gotten here, I just know my potential is so much more than where I'm at right now.
And it needs to come with she needs to come with Chief's approval too, right?
100%. He's got a good read on character for sure. No doubt about
that. One thing I really like about vulnerability and being very self-accepting with that is not only that it allows you to be able to calm yourself down, right? Because you have a greater understanding of yourself. You are able to ground yourself when you need to. You can work through your emotions better. You are able to be more decisive, right, with where you want to go, and to be able to hold your vision and be more in alignment, because you're able to do that for yourself.
Oh, yeah. 100%. It's, I'm not sure where I'm going to go with this, but it's
just go for
it. It is like I'm quite sure of myself, and I'm quite I think it's just amplifying everything. Just being aware of how in tune I am with myself right now, and just wanting more and more of that, like the openness, like the stuff I have, like, again, the communication. I think a lot of it, again, comes to not just relationships with women, but the communication I'm having with the fellow men in my Jack After 40 club and everything. That has really gotten me to open up, and like my personal growth, I think it's kind of tied into just bringing other men together, and again, building each other up and encouraging them to be more open. And just it makes me want more of that. Like, my bigger visions for myself is just retreat type stuff, like bringing all these guys together and just dumping outer stuff and accepting who we all are, no matter how all our differences and all the stuff that makes us unique. Like, it's not being open with our communication just because you think you're trying to fit in, you're trying to impress everyone. It's just you share you and be true to yourself. So I don't know. I don't even know how I answered any of that. But just knowing who I am and the things, and just tying it all together. My love of nature. So when I see retreats with these guys, so it's just tying in everything that brings me great joy in my life. The fitness, the nature, the communication, tying it all together, and just seeing it growing overall.
I could see you doing that, and it being being incredibly impactful. But also, the thing is that when a guy is doing his own personal work on himself, it also, the ripple effect of that also affects not only himself, but his partner, or, as well, his family, people around him, children, everyone, his work. It really makes an incredible difference, right?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's all contagious. That's the
Yeah.
fun part of it all, rubbing off. And that's, in part, it's leading by example. And again, I think that's, like, as a father, like, seeing my daughter being so true to herself, like, she's got her own unique style, um her own little passion, like, she's a love of nature as well. She just has this confidence in herself, and it's not like I taught her how to have this style that she has or anything.
Yeah.
What I taught her was that it's okay to be you,
Yeah.
no matter what it is.
Yeah.
And it's great to see her. Like, I wish I was like her at her age right now, where she's kind of like, I don't give a fuck what people think.
Yeah.
This is what I'm going to do right now. This is how
Yeah.
I'm going to dress. And she's standing, and again, like, with her, it's contagious. Like,
Yeah.
you see that influence rub off on other people. And so I think the one thing, like, leading by example, isn't so much about what I'm eating and how I'm working out. It's
Yeah.
just me living, like, beating to my own drum, me doing me, not for the approval of everyone else. It's just because it's what brings joy to my life. And I hope that's what other people see, is like, all right, I want to do more of what makes me happy. I want to get more
Yeah.
in tune
Yeah.
with who I really am. Because it's not like, I think people go through life just
Yeah.
putting on a front and putting up an image that's really not who they are. And I'd say I'm somewhat guilty of it as well.
Yeah.
From
Yes.
years ago, I really had to get in tune
Yeah.
with myself. Like, now I feel more like I was when I was a kid,
Yeah.
doing the stuff that naturally made me happy.
Yes.
That I just kind of lost sight of
Yeah.
that, what brought joy into my life. So
Yeah. And that's
very
so
time.
true. It's when you're able to bring, like, that childlike wonderment back into your life, that makes a big difference on all levels, right? Because it's fulfilling, it brings a little bit more imagination, creativity, but I think also there's that innocence about it, like, you see things through a different lens a little bit more as well.
Oh, 1,000%. Yeah,
Yeah.
1,000,000%. It's, yeah, I agree wholeheartedly with that, for sure. It's yeah, it's definitely given me a different perspective, a playful perspective. And it's kind of interesting. I think different stage. I think as young kids, you don't care so much. Like, young kids, you don't care so much
Yeah.
about what other people would think. You're just playing, you're just having fun, you're just living
Yeah.
your life. And then, yeah, somewhere along the lines we get lost in the mix.
Yeah.
And then later in life, we're like, I don't care, I'm just gonna say whatever the hell I want to say. I don't care if I offended anybody else or whatever. But yeah, but it is a different lens to see through life, and it is a playful lens that it's just fun. Yeah, it's definitely brought me more joy, more creativity, more passion, because it's coming from the heart, it's coming from the soul. It's not, I don't have to think about it. It's just, this is me. This is me being me and having fun.
Yeah. And Chief's doing exactly that right now.
He is
He's bang
something
on with
else.
everything in this podcast, isn't he? He's just like nailing it as the topics are coming up.
He's very intuitive with all this stuff. Oh my goodness.
Oh, that's so awesome. And so what, with that vision, with where you want to go with, like, you're going to be transitioning more into that with your work with men, or, what's some of the things that you've got coming up? Because I know last time we spoke, you had a big project coming up. What's some of the things that you've got going on right now?
Right now, my biggest focus in the moment is growing the Jacked After 40 club.
Yeah.
Just getting more men within there. and again, it's not so much about numbers as it is the communication, getting these guys to open up and to, it's an experience. It's more than just a workout plan. It's more than just watching the diet. It really is an experience. It's a lot of camaraderie there. So building the online community and shifting as well to those guys who want to do stuff in person and meet together. And I think now, like when we haven't been able to travel for almost 2 years now, like that's going to be even more important, that physical connection. Because I've had the joy of meeting a lot of clients in person whenever I travel, and certain clients or subscribers are in the area, like getting together for a workout, and like you spend a few hours with them, and like, we really haven't met before. Like it seems like we've known each other all our lives. That's the beauty of building the online community first, and then
it's true.
But yeah, I definitely see a lot more just adventures, retreats with my crew there. I love the whole YouTube thing and just growing that. Just again, and with that, it's just me putting myself out there. It's always just me sharing my journey and learning and growing together through conversations in the discussion sections of the videos and all that stuff. So it's just I'm just keeping a tight, narrow focus on the Jacked After 40 Club, and whether it's online or in person with retreats and all that stuff. Just having fun in the process, seeing where it all evolves and grows. But it's where my heart and passion is. And
you can see that it actually comes out in the videos and your written content as well. But it's very obvious how passionate you are about it, and that it does come from here, and it's from a very genuine, soul-driven place.
100%. There's no doubt about it. So it's the only way I know how to be.
That's
genuine and open, and just being me, just keeping it raw and real, which is fun.
That's fantastic. And so if people
sorry, one other thing I am doing, I'm
writing
a book right now. I'm writing the book. I think I mentioned it to you before. The Jacked After 40 book. That's so that is a big thing. That is something that's a challenge for me as well, because I'm so used to, like, video kind of comes more natural to me. The writing has been more of, I used to write a lot more articles in the past, and articles take me a long time to get the written word out. But I'm learning the process of just dumping it all out. So it's been a longer process than I expected it to be. But it's also been a fun self-growth learning experience as well. So really looking forward to having the Jacked After 40 book is basically a lot of my journey, my story.
Fantastic.
The evolution. So that'll be great. So that's a big project tied into all this other stuff.
So when is that going to be released?
Good question. I would love I'm really trying my best to at least get my first draft done by the end of this year. That is my goal. It doesn't give me much time right now. Here I'm putting the public accountability.
That's it.
Put the pressure on myself here. But I've been in a good process of writing pretty much daily. I would love to have more time to dedicate towards the writing, but my whole goal with this book was to I can't, like, I love all the other aspects of my business, the coaching, I've already committed to, like, it's been 2 years now where I've had a YouTube video published every Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday morning at 7:30 a.m. I don't want to break that streak ever. So I'm keeping that going, and I can't, the writing has to be in addition to that. It'd be, I could just lock myself in a room and everything and do it. But at the same time, like, what I've realized from this whole process is that, I could have written this book a year ago. It wouldn't be the book that it's going to be if I had written it then than if I've written it now, just because how I've evolved. And even the more I've read, the more I think this book is going to be a better book as well. So it's all happening. It's all unfolding the way it's meant to unfold. I'm setting a deadline to get the first draft done by the end of this year. It's my goal. but it's
Yeah.
going to unfold the way it's going to unfold. It's going to get done, and I'm excited for it, for sure.
Yeah, I'm excited for you too. That's very, very cool. And I think it's a nice way for people to learn about you, right? What goes on kind of behind the scenes as well, because even when you're sharing like bits and pieces of yourself, if people are sort of fairly new to you, they may not know like your whole story, or may not have seen your whole transformation. So to be able to read that and really understand what goes on behind the scenes with you, like in here and in here as well, is very cool to be able to share that. And it is a very like therapeutic process, right?
100%. I think a lot of the different stories and branch off stories within the book are very relatable. And like, I'm just an average guy. There's nothing spectacular about me, average genetics and everything, and same struggles as a lot of the other guys have faced. So I think hearing the stories that I've gone through, whether it was from being a hard gainer at the younger ages, trying to build muscle, to gaining the fat and then struggling to lose the weight, and just all different kinds of struggles throughout the whole process. I think very relatable stories that hopefully inspire others to realize, well, this guy can do it, so can I. There's certainly nothing. I shouldn't say I do it. What a crazy thing to say. There's nothing special about me. There is.
I'm so glad you said that, because I was waiting for you to finish so I could say, hey.
Yeah, there is a lot special about me, but there's just as much special about you and these other guys reading the books as well. So I do catch myself. That's funny. That's something that I've thought about whenever that's popped in my head a lot lately. Is nothing special about me. No, I can list a whole bunch of things that make me special. So, yeah.
I think that's thing when I mean, there's a reason why you get to why you choose to put yourself out there on video and share your story, right? Because you do feel that you've got something to share, which means that you are special, right? And you are unique in your own way. And not only that, it also gets to help inspire others who maybe would like to do that, and maybe they're a bit afraid to do that. But they resonate with you and then think, well, maybe I could do that too. Or they just get to benefit from what you're putting out there and have their own personal growth and journey that could be not on social media at all, but it could be putting themselves out there in so many other ways in life.
100%. I've had, as we talked about before, like a lot of my clients inspire others to go on their own personal journey as well. Some of my clients have become coaches themselves and everything. So that's always exciting. But I think I really encourage it more and more, even at the end of my videos, to get the discussion going. Like, it's more than, I'm not just talking for the sake of me being talking. Like, we're all learning and growing together. I'm learning just as much from my clients, from the people who subscribe to my YouTube videos. I'm learning from them. So it's the more I'm sharing what I'm sharing. I would love to hear your experience as well. Drop them in a comment down below, and let's keep this, learn from each other. Like, I don't have all the answers, and we're all unique. We're all different. So what works for me might not work for someone else. So what works for you, let's see, it might work for someone else better than what worked for me. So sharing the journey is what it's all about. And people, that's why I encourage people to do. Like, the more you share, you don't realize that you can be helping other people. That's why it really pays to be open, not just for yourself, but for others to benefit as well.
I agree. Oh, that's so good. And is there I'm going to put a comment along with this. I'll put details of your YouTube channel and stuff like that. Is there any specific areas where you would love people to, like social media platforms or website, that you would love people to contact you? Or even just say hi to Chief.
Chief. I really got to get him his own website. Stuff. I can't believe I haven't done that yet. So my two websites, jackedafter40.com and shreddedafter40.com. So Jacked After 40 is geared more towards the muscle building aspect. Shredded After 40 is geared towards the fat loss aspect. Both those have links to my YouTube videos, to the podcast, all the means to contact me, reach out, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are probably the best two places to learn more about me and
Awesome.
look
Well,
for
I'll
ways to
include links to those in there so people can just like click on those and go directly to them. And if
I
they
appreciate it.
wanted to reach out to you, because I'll tag you in the post, you could, with people like just private messaging you and going, hey, I love the podcast, or hey, I would love to chat with you a little bit more about what you're doing, and can I work with you?
100%. I'm all about engagement. I thrive from engagement. So yeah, don't hesitate to reach out at all through private message or on by any means.
Awesome. Oh, thank you. Well, thank you so much for coming on today. It's been awesome having yourself and Chief as well on the podcast. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and it's nice to catch up with you. And even I've noticed, even since I first caught up with you on Zoom last time, your energy has transformed even more since then. I can just feel that, and that's so cool. It's like and because I've also been following your posts, you know, as well, and your videos and what you've been up to. So yeah, it's really cool. I've been stoked to have you on, and it's nice to catch up again. And thank you for staying up so late as well, so that you could be on this podcast, because it's morning here and evening there. So I value that big time.
My pleasure. It's been fun. I've really enjoyed the conversation, and yeah, it is. Hopefully the next time we speak again, you'll see even more growth and even better energy from me as well. Because it's really what life is all about. It's about growth. So yeah, and having fun throughout the journey.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And thank you everyone else for jumping on board and listening to this today. And I'll include all the links so that you know how to get hold of Scott. And you can check out his videos, and if you'd like to work with him, you can reach out to him as well. So thank you so much, and thank you, Chief, for jumping on today with us.
We appreciate it.
Awesome. Okay, thank you so much, everybody. See you later.